In the labyrinthine realms of digital discourse, where the battle of ideas is waged with ferocity akin to the most legendary rap feuds, Hasanabi's ongoing conflict with the debate bro, Destiny, takes on the gravitas of an epic rivalry.
Shit world engine that he's in has to be kind of infallible, with the exception of the things that he has revealed about his own personal life. Slander against Kendrick Lamar works way more than slander against Drake. Here, I'll give you a comparison, right? It's like me versus a debate pedophile, right? When someone says some shit about me, everyone's like, well, you're supposed to be this moral deity. You're supposed to be socialist Jesus. You, lol, we got him. Meanwhile, the other side is literally white dudes writing manifestos about being able to say the N-word, debating the age of consent on a regular basis. Like, they're in the muck, okay? They're already they're in a category that is so low that is like unslanderable at this point. You know what I mean? Whereas I have a lot more to lose in a slander situation, because the expectations from most people is literally that I have to be this infallible figure, even though I'm not, right? So that's the whole point between Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, is that Kendrick Lamar has a lot more to lose because he has this reputation of being the person that he is, whereas everybody knows Drake is corny. Everybody knows that Drake's kind of weird about young girls. Everybody knows that Drake was hiding a child, and look what happened. You know what I mean? He was hiding a child that got revealed. Did it do anything to his career? No, it did not matter at all, right? It doesn't matter. Whereas if Kendrick Lamar is hiding a child, I feel like that in and of itself would probably hurt his reputation a lot more, because he ran from Pusha. No, I know, but think about that. Think about that. No retaliation to Pusha T, literally one of the all-time greatest investigative reporting / diss tracks of all time. Okay, Story of Adidon lives in the halls of the greats. Okay, there is nothing that will be as impactful in a diss track as that. I even mentioned this when I jokingly was talking about how before the second child dropped, okay, before the second child album release happened, I jokingly said, what's Kendrick going to do? Say you're hiding a second child? Even if he were to say you're hiding a second child, it still doesn't hit as hard as the first one, right? But the reason why I'm mentioning that is because he was hiding a child, and that happened. Pusha T did that. Drake never replied, and it still didn't matter, right? It didn't matter. It didn't hurt his career. Whereas I feel like for Kendrick Lamar, it would definitely be more impactful in that regard.
Like the titanic clash between Kendrick Lamar and Drake in the world of hip-hop, this ideological struggle is not merely a contest of words, but a profound reflection of the divergent paths and personas each figure embodies. The comparison between these two sets of combatants offers a vivid tapestry of how reputations are built, attacked, and ultimately, either solidified or shattered in the crucible of public scrutiny. Hasanabi, much like Kendrick Lamar, occupies a lofty pedestal in the eyes of his followers. He is perceived as a paragon of progressive values, a digital messiah whose every word is dissected, analyzed, and held up as a standard of moral and ideological purity. This position, however, comes with a heavy burden, a near impossible expectation of infallibility. Just as Kendrick Lamar's carefully crafted image as a conscientious artist and voice of a generation places him under an intense spotlight, Hassan finds himself constantly under the gaze of an audience that demands unwavering consistency in his principles and actions. On the other side of this digital rap battle is Destiny, who, much like Drake, revels in a persona that is far more complex, if not controversial. Drake's career has been marked by a series of revelations and accusations, whether it's his so-called conniness, his dubious interactions with younger women, or the infamous revelation of his hidden child. Yet, despite these scandals, Drake's career has not only survived but thrived, largely because his audience has come to accept, if not embrace, the flaws and contradictions that define his public image. Similarly, Destiny thrives in the muck of online debate, engaging in contentious discussions that range from the permissible use of slurs to the age of consent. These are topics that would tarnish the reputation of most public figures, but for Destiny, they are the very fuel that powers his brand. The key difference that Hasanabi highlights in this analogy is the disparity in the stakes for each figure. For Destiny, whose image is already entrenched in controversy and who operates within a sphere where moral expectations are far less stringent, slander or scandal is but a ripple in the ocean. His audience is accustomed to the rough edges and thrives on the intellectual chaos he generates. In contrast, Hassan, much like Kendrick Lamar, navigates a world where even a minor misstep can have catastrophic consequences. The expectations placed upon him are so high that any deviation from the path of righteousness is met with swift and severe backlash. This dynamic creates a scenario where Hasanabi, like Kendrick, must tread carefully, knowing that his every action is scrutinized by both supporters and detractors alike. The public perception is that he must remain a flawless embodiment of his values, lest he be toned down by those who revel in his fallibility. Meanwhile, Destiny, like Drake, can afford to brush off criticism and scandal with relative ease because his brand is not built on moral purity but on the very chaos that criticism engenders. The analogy extends further into the nature of their conflicts. Just as Kendrick Lamar's battle with Drake was marked by the infamous diss track from Pusha T, The Story of Adidon, which exposed Drake's hidden child, Hasanabi faces a similar challenge in his confrontations with Destiny. The debate draws penchant for delving into the most contentious and morally ambiguous topics makes him almost impervious to attacks that would devastate someone in Hassan's position. Destiny's engagement with provocative issues acts as a shield, making him, in Hassan's words, unslanderable. His audience expects him to be controversial, and thus, any attempt to tarnish his reputation only feeds into his narrative. Hassan, however, must constantly defend his position from a place of moral superiority, much like Kendrick Lamar must uphold his reputation as an artist of substance. The moment Hassan slips, the moment he appears less than the idealized figure his audience demands, he risks a fall from grace that would be far more damaging than any hit Destiny could take. The stakes are asymmetrical, with Hassan standing to lose far more in this ongoing battle of ideologies and reputations. This disparity in expectations and outcomes reveals a deeper truth about public personas in the age of social media. The higher one's pedestal, the harder the fall. Kendrick Lamar's artistic and moral integrity means that any scandal could have devastating effects, just as any serious misstep by Hassan could lead to a significant loss of credibility. Meanwhile, Drake, like Destiny, operates within a framework where controversy is not just tolerated but expected. Their audiences are more forgiving, or perhaps more cynical, understanding that their idols are, at the end of the day, human and flawed. In this intricate dance of reputations, Hasanabi finds himself in a precarious position, much like Kendrick Lamar in the world of hip-hop. Both figures must navigate the treacherous waters of public expectation, where even a small slip can lead to a tidal wave of backlash. Meanwhile, Destiny, like Drake, glides through these waters with a kind of invincibility, protected by the very controversies that would sink a less resilient figure. The comparison between these two digital titans and their hip-hop counterparts serves as a powerful illustration of how public figures are shaped by the expectations of their audiences. Hasanabi's struggle with Destiny is not just a battle of ideas but a battle for the very soul of his public persona, a fight to maintain the moral high ground in a world where even the smallest misstep can lead to a dramatic fall. Destiny, meanwhile, continues to thrive in the chaos, unscathed by the very controversies that define him. In the end, Hasanabi's beef with destiny, much like the feud between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, is a testament to the complexities of maintaining a public persona in an age where every action is scrutinized, every word dissected. It is a battle not just for ideological supremacy, but for the preservation of a carefully constructed image in a world that is all too eager to see it crumble.